Alabama star quarterback Ty Simpson's pursuit to solidifying himself as a first-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. Next up is a difficult task against LSU's defense.
You are Locked On NFL Draft, your daily podcast covering the NFL Draft. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast, your daily podcast covering your favorite draft prospects, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your boy, Damian Parson. I'm an NFL draft analyst with Bleacher Report. That's my guy, Keith Sanchez. He's the director of scouting with the Draft Network and 2019 national champion with those LSU Tigers. And as always, thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our everydayers. It's time to preview week 11 of college football for the 2026 NFL Draft. Those offensive statement makers, those guys that must make a statement to help solidify themselves as top picks in the NFL Draft. The defensive statement makers who need to do the same thing. And then those sleepers, the alarm clock's going to go off at the end of this show because we're going to tell you who you need to be watching that you probably don't know about. But before we can get into all of that, today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Ty Simpson, Keith, is my statement maker of the week. And it's simple. He's going against one of the best secondaries in college football. And this is a guy, first-year starter, will be 23 in December, probably about a month away. And for me, man, I just look at it from this aspect, Keith. This quarterback class has took a turn, right? You know, it wasn't what was it like? So, you know, it's not Garrett Nussmeier, Lenore Sellers is not him. Like, you know, the top guys, those guys that we predicted to be the best of the best, right? Those guys aren't the ones that right now are at the top of mock drafts. It is a Ty Simpson, a Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore if he were to declare, right? For us, we talked about Darian Mensah should declare. Ty Simpson has a big opportunity against a really good defense that we know, and I think this game is in Alabama. Yep. This is a lot of, you know, one of the best rivalries in the SEC. I just want to see Ty Simpson go out here and handle his business, be accurate with the football, anticipate throwing lanes well, climb the pocket, throw the middle of the field, get the ball to your playmakers, right? This is a guy who can use his legs and run, and that's something that I think that's the key to watch. It's his athleticism. The LSU's defense, I believe, has struggled with running quarterbacks. I think Diego Pavia, Chambliss, Marcel Reed. So now, like when you look at Ty Simpson, he can run. He can use his legs. And I think that should be a nice little antidote to watch out for in this game. But I think for him, man, I have a first round grade on Ty Simpson. I think Ty Simpson should be considered a first round quarterback. And I think this one of those games, a team that's going to play man. They play a lot of man at LSU. They'll mix it up too. But when you have a Mansoor Delane and Pickett and those guys, they can go one-on-one on an island against most receiving corps. I'm not gonna lie, I would love to see this cornerback group against what they have at Ohio State. I would love to see it, but we're probably not going to see it this year, Keith. But I hate to say it. But yeah, Ty Simpson, man, can make a big statement this year, Keith, in this game and this weekend, Keith, because it's all about adding more data points to the situation. He's played well since the Florida State game. This is another opportunity, another test that he can pass.
Yeah, DP, that was what they call it, wishful thinking, right? A teaser that's not possible, right? And you were like, okay, why? Because initially when you said it, I'm like, why can't it happen? And then I thought about it. Yeah,
this guy.
There's one situation that probably won't show up this year. I like that call out, DP, and I like it because I even look at the Alabama wide receivers, and you tell me if you feel the same way. I think above average to good, not great. And I think in that will put Ty in a situation to where, especially if they play man, right, with these corners, the way he's going to have to make some tight window throws. And it should make it fun, right? For, you know, being able to see him as a quarterback. It should be good evaluation tape, I believe. And that's why I think, like you said, you putting this as a statement maker game, I think could be good. I'm gonna go with, man, I'm split between a couple quarterbacks, but I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go Clemson. And I'm gonna go Cade Klubnik. They playing Florida State, and they have Florida State at home. And I'm gonna go Cade Klubnik because we talked about this. I think this was Monday's or Tuesday's episode, and just playing better football. Playing pretty decent football now. And can he just kind of just get momentum going, right? Just get it going in the right direction. That the ACC is down as a whole. But can he and Clemson obviously have their own issues? They're coming off another loss, but that wasn't the Cade's fault, right? Like they just gave up on 40 points. But can he in a game that essentially, in my opinion, will probably is a rivalry game in some sense because it's two big brands, right? And it's not a historically rivalry game, but because it's two big brands, it means something. And then it kind of go here. Is this Dabo Sweeney's last hurrah coaching for his job, right? Like, in on the flip side, is this Mike Norvell coaching for
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
it can go both ways, right? Like we can wake up Sunday morning and hear either guy, right? it's no longer employed at that university. But I look at Cade and just with all of those different factors factored in his own personal factors, right? Because we talked about it, like I said, I think it was Monday or Tuesday's podcast. There's no more eligibility left. This is it. You have 3 to 4 more games to make a case for yourself, and that's about it. And maybe a bowl game, right? And so can you handle your business and play good football? And what will probably, I think it's a prime time matchup. But I think they're going to be playing this game
I
at
think like
night.
7, yeah, 8, like 7 o'clock at night. Yep.
Yeah. So can you make some noise? And I'm looking at Cade to do that. So he's definitely a statement maker for me because, like we said, it's about maybe you don't go in the first round. But to salvage this, to have played how you played and still potentially go top of the third, second round, you would take that at this point.
All day long, and I think the way he's playing past couple weeks, like the past couple games, he's looked more confident in getting Antonio Williams back. We said it earlier this week, Keith, that has given him I was watching the tape of that game, and he's just like he looks totally different than he did when he started the season. Like in the pocket, like reading the defense. I think Duke sent a fire zone blitz. He saw it. He subtle movement in the pocket, didn't let pressure get to him, didn't sit there flat-footed, didn't bail. And then he threw a dime to Antonio Williams, one of the big chunk plays down the field, split the safeties. And I'm like, yeah, week 1, you wouldn't have done this. You know what I'm saying? Like he looks more calm and poised in the pocket and everything. So yeah, another and one thing about Florida State, like even though they're not, they kind of tailed off and falling off, that defense still has NFL talent all over it. From the D line, they got 2, I think, freshman twins that are like defensive tackles or defensive linemen that are absolute. Like we're gonna be talking about them in about 2 years, Keith. Like you know what I mean. So like they have a defense that can get after it and make things a little harder for them, especially if they can stop the run, make them one dimensional. So definitely looking for Cade to say, hey, can you compound games? Can you stack these performances and go out there and be the reason that your team is in the game? Even if you lose, it's a lot better to say, hey, Clemson lost, but Cade played his butt off, rather than saying Clemson lost and Cade's the reason. So go out there and be the reason that you're in the game and that you have a chance to win the game and the reason you should win the game and let everyone else do whatever they do. But Keith, I'll go right back to that Bama LSU game. Nussmeier. Like, I think that, like, it's gotten to the point where nobody even speaks Nussmeier's name anymore. Like, and it's just,
Yep.
we got kids. Like, I didn't really watch the movie. I just remember the annoying song from that Disney movie, but it was like, we don't talk about Bruno. Like, it just feels like nobody wants to talk about Nuss. And it's like, Nuss is still a good quarterback. I still like Nuss. Like, accurate, anticipates well. They fired Brian Kelly. I think they made changes at the athletic director and everything like that. Does that spark something with this offense and with this team to making those changes? I think what Andrew Whitworth came out and said, he tried to mentor because he's a former LSU native, right? Like he played there, former alum. He tried to mentor the players on the team, and basically Brian Kelly wouldn't answer his calls. Like, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. Like, I'm pretty sure Whitworth has a Super Bowl ring or something like that. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't want this guy mentor your offense, your young offensive lineman, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, Brian Kelly out of there. Does this spark maybe a late season turnaround for Garrett Nussmeier to maybe he gets on the heater from here on out, plays well, goes into the bowl game, things of that nature, see him at the Senior Bowl, And then the draft season, the conversation and the narrative, Keith, it's always about what have you done for me lately?
Yep.
Like the first and second quarters, first and second half of the season, those like that middle part and the first part, nobody thinks about that no more if you ball out the rest of the way. And it's just all about flipping the narrative. And I think Nussmeier against a Bama defense that has NFL talent on it and against an offense that could put up points, can you score, throw for throw, score for score?
Yeah, no, I like that call out. And because usually this is the, like you'll get a different version of a football team after a head coaching fire, right? Because it kind of wakes everybody up, right? Like the momentum is shifted. People are more motivated, and like you're kind of not just in the ruts of, okay, this is week 9 of the season, week 10 of the season, right? Like you kind of like, it's a bit of a shakeup. So it'll be interesting to see how LSU comes out, and then like you said, totally new with not only like head coach being fired, but offensive coordinator, right? So what different type of wrinkles do they add into this situation, and how does Nussmeier respond? Because, and we go back to this conversation, and I'm so happy that we had the conversation. Even last year, there were 2 versions of Garrett Nussmeier, and it's always been like, which version are we going to get? And up until this point, we've gotten the back half of last year's Garrett Nussmeier. So we'll see exactly how that goes. But DP, let's do this, man. Let's flip sides of the football, right? We talked offensive guys. Let's talk defensive statement makers, defensive players in the 2026 NFL draft that we want to see make some plays this weekend. Talk about those prospects coming up next.
If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for just $15 a month. Mint makes it simple. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text, delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can even bring your own phone and keep your same number and contacts. So are you ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/lockedonnfl. That's mintmobile.com/lockedonnfl. Upfront payments of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. The NFL season is back and in full swing, and honestly, there's nothing better than being in the stadium surrounded by fans cheering on your favorite team. But let's be honest, getting tickets can be a hassle. Between queues, login screens, and prices jumping at checkout, it's frustrating. And that's why I use Game Time, the app that gives the advantage back to fans. Game Time is fast, easy, and backed by the Game Time guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included. So the price you see is the price you pay. The app made it super simple. I could even see the exact view from my seat before I purchased or bought my ticket. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, and go. Download Game Time today. Defensive statement makers to watch in week 11 of college football. Keith, I go again back to the LSU matchup. Mansoor Delane.
DP, I have a question. Are you going to be watching the LSU Bama game?
Oh, yes, I'm going to be watching that game. I am absolutely going to be watching that game, Keith. I'm going to be dialed in, baby, watching that full throttle, Keith. And I'm looking at Mansoor, man. He's my CB1. I've been saying it all season, especially with Germ not being healthy or not stepping on the field, at least. I think this is an interesting matchup for him, similar to that Texas A&M one. The Texas A&M was Casey Concepcion, Mario Craver, route runners, twitchy, explosive guys, but the offense never leaves them static. Ryan Williams, we know, 18 years old, like explosive, dynamic receiver. If he just catches the football consistently, he's going to be fine. Like, he's a big playmaker. He's got to catch the football. People are going to, like, he's going to be a projected first round pick next summer when we get to summer scouting. People are going to have a first round tag on him. He's just got to catch the football, right? 18 years old, because of what he did last year at 17. Germ Bernard is the one I want to see because Germ Bernard is the guy that when Ryan Williams is struggling, Ty Simpson looks Germ Bernard's way. And they use Germ Bernard in different ways. He's a run at the catch guy. They do some manufactured touch stuff with him. They line him up in the backfield. They create matchups. And for me, with Mansoor, and he's a bigger body than a Ryan Williams and a Casey Concepcion. Germ Bernard's a strong dude. He's physical. He's strong. He's got good footwork with a release package and route running. And then it's what he does after the catch. And I think that's going to be the big thing is for Mansoor, picking and choosing how physical you are with him, how handsy you get with him, but also tackling him after the catch. When you're in close proximity, bring him down. Don't let him get free from you. Don't let him get 5, 7, 8 yards after the catch because that goes from a 5-yard slant to a 13-yard gain and first down, and we move the chains. He's got to be able to make sure he tackles well, which is something that Mansoor does. But I think for him, it's going to be able to lock these guys up whenever he gets a chance to face them one-on-one and not give them much room to breathe. Make Ty Simpson, like you said earlier, Keith, make him make the tight window throw outside the numbers. But we'll definitely watch out because you're going to have to deal with those in breakers, dagger concepts, stuff like that. Yeah, they run that stuff with Germ, especially in the middle of the field, where Ty Simpson come back across the formation and drill that deep end cut. Can you stay in close proximity, play through the hands, make those throws difficult? Mansoor Delane's got to be able to do that.
Yeah, I like that, and like you said, it should be a good test for him and another good resume game for him, right? As a cornerback, I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with two guys back to back. DP. I'm gonna go first. Texas A&M is playing Missouri, and this. Texas A&M should win this game, right? Missouri's quarterback is out, I think, Bo Prabila, and he had a lower leg injury a couple weeks ago. So they should win this game, right? You're talking about backup quarterback. They should win this game going away. But I want to see Cassius Howell, DP. Cassius is making some noise and consistently taking steps in the right direction. And it's, he went from throw him in a first round conversation to throw him top 15 to 20 to top 10. Like now, can you have a conversation with Ruben Bain? Like that, and I'm rooting for it because I like having talented drafts, right? I enjoy that, right? I want really good drafts. So I'm excited to see what he can do. The second guy, DP, is a name that we haven't discussed much on this podcast. I'm gonna go with Oregon safety Dillon Thieneman. And I think I pronounced that right.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm going with Oregon is because they're playing Iowa. And the reason I'm going with the safety is because I'm thinking run fits, right? And I thought this young man on film, I don't know why I thought he was much bigger. I thought he was like 6'3", 220, but he's listed as 6 foot, 205 pounds, right? So totally different body types from what I thought. But just seeing him in run fits, DP, seeing him come down, he's going to have to run the alley. Iowa's going to run the football. And I've heard conversations about him being I've even seen him in first round mocks, right? The first round of some mock drafts, but I want to see him and what does that presence look like, right? Like him at 6 foot, 205 pounds. Show me why you're a first round draft pick in this conversation. So I'm looking at Dillon Thieneman too, and this is just a prospect we haven't talked about much on this podcast. But inserting him in this situation, I want to see what that looks like for him.
Yeah, I think the reason why you thought he was bigger, a bigger body key, because at Purdue he was out there just dropping guys. You know what I mean? He was playing physical downhill. I feel like they've changed his role in this Oregon defense.
You think more free safety than strong, or you think like
it's almost like a rover type, like he's roaming and playing kind of low hole in a sense where I think it's fine for him. But I felt like when he was at Purdue, like his Purdue tape. Yeah, I'm drafting that first round. You know what I mean? Like the range, the physicality he was playing with, stuff like that, the ball skills. I don't feel like I don't know. I got to watch him a little bit more, but I just feel like his role changed in this Dan Lanning's defense. And I would like to see him get back to playing some of that up top free safety type stuff, like being able to take away the deep ball. We saw him do that at a very good clip at Purdue. Not really sure, it just, he's a team player, so he's doing what he needs to do. But yeah, I think against Iowa, I was going to run the football. Like, that. Like, I think it's Kamari Moulton. He's like 5'10", maybe 5'9", like 210 pounds. pretty dense built, short running back. Yeah, you got to be prepared for that run game. And they get you play action pass. So being disciplined with your eyes and everything else. So, yeah, I like that call out for Dillon, man, because, I mean, yeah, at worst, he's probably a second-round pick long as he tests well and do everything else he's got to do. He's instinctive. He's a smart defender. And, again, go back to Purdue. He took the ball away. He created interceptions and turnovers. Like, he does those things. You just want to see him really be able to play with that same type of freedom a little bit more in this Dan Lanning's defense. Like, Keith, I go to probably one of the bigger games that isn't even the SEC matchup, but it's that Big 12 matchup, BYU versus Texas Tech. That's a game I'm gonna be watching at 12. Right after college game day is over. And I'm going to their linebacker, Jacob Rodriguez. He's listed at 6'1", 230, 74 tackles this year, 5 pass breakups, a sack, 7 fumbles forced, and 2 interceptions. Like, this is a dude, like he transferred from UVA from Virginia, and he's been there. He's been at Texas Tech ever since 2022. He's all around the football, man. He's a tackling machine. He plays with his hair on fire. He's very smart and instinctive, and he showcases the lateral agility and athleticism to play a little bit more sideline to sideline, hash to hash, and really be able to make plays in the box. And one thing with BYU, they have that young quarterback, Hank Bachmeier, number 47. I really wish he would change that.
Bear.
Yeah, Bear Bachmeier, sorry.
Yep.
I want him to change that number. 47 is absolutely disgusting. Maybe there's a sentimental reason he does it, and if it is, respect. But if we can get you to an 8, a 1, a 4, if I can get something else that looks a lot cleaner and fresher, brother, I'll be all for it. But like, that young man can play, man. He's gonna run. He'll run the ball. He's got a good arm. He can throw it. But then they have L.J. Martin. They're kind of like, he reminds me a lot of Tyler Algier. That just dense, physical, downhill running back and everything. So for Jacob being 6'1", 230, probably 6'1", 6 foot, 230 pounds. Hey, if they get physical coming down, working downhill, are you ready to tighten that chin strap and strike? Or are you ready to run the alley, be the alley defender, and keep that run game at bay? Because if you do, you got the best pass rushing duo in college football with Romello Hyatt and David Bailey. If you can force Bear Bachmeier and that passing offense into true drop back sets for the majority of his game, yeah, David Bailey and Romello Hyatt has proven they will get back there into the backfield. So that it starts at the second level. Stop the run game, take away the quick passing attack, the slants, the mesh concept, stuff like that, and then give your edge rushers a chance to rush the passer.
Yep, I agree. With DP, we talked offensive statement makers. We talk defensive statement makers. Let's have some fun and get into those sleepers, right? Get your alarm clocks. DP about to wake you up. It's those sleepers to watch. Which draft prospects are flying under the radar, but they will have a big impact on this weekend's college football slate of games. We'll talk about those prospects coming up next.
This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement of this sports season. Whether you're following the NFL, the NBA, or both, there's no better time to jump into the action. If you haven't tried it yet, PrizePicks is the simplest way to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, and if you get them right, you win. It takes less than 60 seconds. I mean, less than a minute to make your lineup, and you can play anywhere PrizePicks operates, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Download the PrizePicks app today and use the code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and everyday shot, for being our everydayers. Sleepers, guys. The alarm clock is going off, which means you overslept, but we got the prospects to get you right. Keith, I go and I want to talk about Zion Young, the edge rusher from Missouri.
Yes, sir. Let's talk about him.
This dude is impressive, man. It might have been the Bama game, I think, when I finally got a chance to really watch him, just live and watch him play. Like, yeah, this dude gets after it, man. 6'5", 260, almost 265. He's got long arms. He's got five or six sacks in the season, almost 20 pressures, 8 QB hits, 2 fumbles forced. He's got that speed to power conversion. He's got a strong motor. He hunts the football. He hunts the quarterback. And I just think this is an opportunity for him. Like, I don't think a lot of people know about him in this draft class. And I think that they should, Keith. I think people should wake up on him and going up against Marcel Reed. This isn't the run-of-the-mill quarterback. Yeah, this dude will run. So you got to be where you got to slow play your rush. You got to be disciplined. You can't give him outs, from the pocket. Close the pocket slowly and then close, squeeze and then close with quickness. And I think if he can do that with that strength and that arm length and wingspan and his power, I think this could be a game. This could be a coming out party for Zion Young. If he can they got to keep Marcel Reed in the pocket though. If you get very undisciplined with your rush, you can go ahead and count probably 70 to 100 yards rushing from Marcel Reed. Because if he feels your pressure and you're not where you're supposed to be, he's going to make you pay for that. Got to be disciplined. But Zion Young is a guy that people need to know about.
Yeah. So Zion Young is a prospect that I really like. And I like him enough that I just put him in the first round of my mock draft. I think he's that talented. I can foresee this young man jump in the likes of the Keldrick folks and potentially a Mateo Uiagalelei, and just because of the body type, like this, he's filled out, and it reminds me of DP. Just easy comp. His teammate a couple years ago, right? Well, I don't know if they listen. The way college football is, ain't no telling if they played together, right? But Darius Robinson, right? Who came out and he was a first round pick to the Cardinals. That was 2 years ago, and I think they're very similar body types. When you talk about that kind of 6'4", 6'5", 265, 270 range. There's a lot I like about this young man. There's a lot he has to clean up, but when we talk about ceiling wise, I think he can get the job done. So I definitely like that call out. I'm looking at this DP sleepers to watch. Blake Shapen going against Georgia, and listen, Mississippi State was on a losing streak, right? But I think they're a scrappy football team. So what I want for Blake is for just to see if he can play good football against this Georgia defense. And teams have scored some points against this Georgia defense, right? And then they just got away with that Florida game where a lot of people don't feel like they should have got away with it, right? They gave up 28, 30, 40 points in the first quarter to Tennessee at the beginning of the season. So I'm looking at Blake Shapen, and I'm not making this comp in NFL comp, but I'm making this comp from a perspective of they have very similar skill sets. Blake Shapen and Brock Purdy, right? Both kind of 6'1" guys, 210 pounds, not anything superior athletically, good arms, not great arms, been around college football a very long time, kind of playing these wide open spread schemes, right? If they win, it's going to be because of timing and rhythm and anticipation, things like that, right? So I'm looking at Blake Shapen because I think he's a draftable quarterback. I'm not saying he's a top 100 pick, and I'm not saying he's going to play like Brock Purdy and he's going to make $50 million a year. Right. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, from a tool standpoint, I think this young man gets drafted, and we should pay attention to what he can do. And it'll be interesting to see what this Mississippi State team can do against Georgia.
Yeah, no, I mean, Georgia, especially early in games, Georgia's defense, it's almost like they sleepwalk into some of these games. You know what I mean? And then after you put 21 points on their heads, like they wake up like, oh, let's play defense now. And on Watch the Tape Wednesday, two episodes ago, Keith, I talked about Blake Shapen's wide receiver. Brennan Thompson, to me, is this year's Tank Dell. Like, this dude can get it. Like,
and I remember him from my time at LSU in recruiting. This is a young man that can run. And he's a runner in the sense of the fact of pay attention to him come combine time. And if he's a 4.3 high 4.2 type of athlete. So I agree with you.
Absolutely. Like he runs like Malik Muhammad, he burned him on the touchdown. That the one thing for Blake Shapen, he's got to hit the deep ball to Brennan Thompson. Like, he's missed so many of them this past couple of weeks. I'm like, man, and I get it. That's a fast kid, man. But you got to get that ball out there, put a little arc on it, let him run underneath it because he runs past everybody. Like, it's just, I haven't seen a cornerback that can stay stride for stride with them this season. So, like, I think that's going to be a big thing because Georgia's secondary, if they go man to man and leave those guys on an island, yeah, like we saw what happened when Chris Brazzell was burning past them. This kid's faster than Brazzell. Like, Brazzell got the longer stride. This kid's speed is instant. It's like snap of a finger, immediate. Keith, I go back to that BYU that BYU game. I want to talk about their wide receiver Chase Roberts, Keith, and I think they're talking about a very unknown. Just nobody really knows anything about this kid, but he can play. Like, he can play. He's a strong wide receiver. He's got a little nuance to him at the line of scrimmage. He's listed at 6'4", 210. So he's got the traditional outside build and everything. But I think this is a guy that also can be a power slot in the NFL and whatnot. Just underrated player. And for BYU's passing offense, I believe he might be their leading receiver in terms of Roberts. And in this game, like against Texas Tech, like, this could be a shootout, Keith, or this could be one of them ugly 17-14 games where the defense just said, yeah, no, we're not letting nothing happen. And I think for Bachmeier, yes, Roberts is their leading receiver right now. For Bear Bachmeier, 11 touchdowns in the season, throwing only three interceptions. A big part of that is having a guy like Roberts who has the ball skills, the body control, make back shoulder fades, but honestly, winning the inside leverage and the inside routes, he can box guys out at the catch point at 6'4", 210 pounds. He's not going to wow you with speed, but he's a possession receiver. And in this game, it's probably best because Texas Tech offense can put up points. It's probably best to just kind of, chip away, just down at the down. Let's keep them off the field and let's take it possession by possession. But guys, when that game kicks off, when BYU faces Texas Tech, keep your eyes on number 2. Chase Roberts can play.
Yep, I agree. Well, DP, that wraps up another episode, man, of the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast. I want to end this podcast off by saying shout out to our everydayers. Thank you for tapping in with us each and every single day. I am Keith Sanchez. You can find me on X at The Talent Code. That right there is my guy, my co-host, Mr. Damian Parson. You can find him on X at DP_NFL. And like we like to say, man, y'all come talk to us because we like to talk back.
Go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts, to get the latest episode as soon as it is available on Monday's show. It's time to talk about the moneymakers. Who made themselves some money from Week 11? Who fumbled the bag? And we got to give out our game balls. So come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.